If you had ever scrolled through the internet, especially seeing those lifestyle content creators, and suddenly felt poor, raise your hand. If your hand is down, congratulations and please continue. These days, all it takes is just 5 minutes on social media for someone to start questioning their life choices. One person is rewarding themselves for hard work, another is celebrating consistency. Meanwhile, your own consistency is in checking prices you cannot afford and closing the app like it offended you. And during Christmas season, everybody suddenly becomes successful online. In the middle of this digital pressure, Tehila began to panic because it is another Christmas season and her bank account was dominant like yeast that had refused to rise. No job, no business, no alert, and Christmas was not smiling at excuses. She didn't want too much. She wasn't dreaming of Dubai or Maldives. She just wanted enjoyment that would make her post at least 3 pictures now and caption one of them. Grateful. She looked at her situation, looked at her phone, sighed deeply, and said the sentence that had changed many lives for better or worse. I must be like my mates, oh, no matter what it takes this December. And that was how our story started. Not with love, not with romance, but with pressure, Christmas, and the dangerous desire to not look broke online. So sit back, relax, and laugh. Tahila did not wake up one morning and decide to become desperate. Desperation woke up first and came to meet her. It started with one harmless scroll on her phone that turned into a full emotional breakdown. People were not just posting pictures anymore, they were posting evidence, screenshots of alerts, videos of shopping bars, and captions written with confidence. Rewarding myself for all the hard work God did, and consistency pays. Tahila stared at her phone and whispered, which consistency? She had been consistent too. Consistent in applying for jobs that replied with, we will get back to you. Consistent in waking up early with big plans and sleeping late with small results. And consistent in managing hope like a fragile egg. But the internet did not recognize invisible efforts. Christmas was approaching and the Gen Zs were not helping. Every day came with a new reminder that December without enjoyment was a crime. Everyone was preparing for Obele. Influencers were already planning trips, and she even saw people who used to be in her level posting hotel mirrors with towers shaped like swines. Tahila dropped her phone on the bed and then she sighed. God, am I a spoon? Even if I don't travel, at least let me enjoy small. Her room answered with silence. She lived alone in a small apartment, the kind of place where you hear your neighbor's alarm before your own. She had finished school with dreams, confidence, and motivational quotes saved in her phone gallery. She was not lazy. That's the painful part because she had tried online courses, she had tried selling things, she had tried content creation, and she had also tried staying positive. But positivity does not buy Christmas clothes. Her phone buzzed again. Another post from her schoolmates this time. She was unboxing a DJI camera. People were just typing wow, wow like sirens in the comment section and small girl with a big god. She quickly googled the amount. She saw it at the range of 1.4 to 1.6 million. She laughed, not because it was funny, but because if she didn't laugh, she might cry. She saw where the girl replied. Indeed, hard work pays, and right there in her room she replied, hard work care. We all worked hard together in school, so why is my own work still loading? She locked her phone and threw it face down. For a few minutes, she told herself she didn't care. I will stay indoors. I will eat my oil rice and egg in peace on Christmas Day and ignore the noise. She even added motivational quotes like, now who first buy the quick buy old model? But even her imagination refused to cooperate. She imagined Christmas morning, her family asking questions and friends posting pictures. That was when fear entered. No, she said aloud. This will not be my story. She sat up on the bed and began to think what I call survival and strategic thinking. If I had a job, I wouldn't be stressed, she reasoned. If I also had the business, I wouldn't be stressed. But since I don't have any, and Christmas will not wait. She paused. Then a dangerous thought crept in. Some people were enjoying because of relationships, so she didn't say it with bitterness. She said it with curiosity. Men will be willing to spend money this season. I am not saying I want love, she told herself quickly, like someone defending herself in court. I just need small assistance. Very little assistance for Christmas sponsorship. She smiled slowly, and by the time she picked up her phone again, she was already convinced that she was not a bad person, just a pressured one. And pressure, as history had proven, had pushed many people into bad decisions. Her brain entered serious planning mode. She sat very well with her phones in her hand, crossed her legs and started scrolling slowly this time, not to envy people, but to observe patterns. She was observing men. If she sees a lady, the way she strolls past her, like what I don't know, she was on an ultimate search for the kind of men that wouldn't complain when prices were mentioned, the kind that said things like, don't worry, I've got you. Paid and still smiled. She just wanted a sponsor with emotional attachment and something that will expire naturally after December. That was when she remembered Mr. Pierce that lived in an estate not too far from her place. When he showed interest, she constantly told him, please give me time to pray. Meanwhile, she already said never in her mind because he was fair, and she sees fair guys as spiritual husbands. He was always neat, always calm, and always stepping out of cars that looked like they had their own savings account. She searched for his profile, saw few pictures, no noise, as she saw a man that didn't need to shout, I am successful, because success was already sitting beside him. She smiled, then sent him a request. Very strategic and very demure. She disappeared. The man accepted the request. To him, that meant Madame had prayed and God must have told her something in his favor. She saw it and was not over the moon because she understood strategy. He messaged her. She received the notification but left it unread and replied 2 days later. On the third day, he messaged her. They chatted. Tahila became soft. She laughed politely. She listened attentively and within minutes, she confirmed something important for her mission. The man was kind, but she had a problem. She didn't want to struggle. She didn't want to beg and she didn't want to wait. She wanted guaranteed results before Christmas. What if he's slow? She wondered. What if he's nice but careful? What if he enjoys talking but not spending? That was when she remembered her schoolmates and thought she would be a reliable source that will fast track her desire, forgetting that it's not her birthday that we Christians are celebrating. For heaven's sake, we are celebrating our Lord Jesus Christ. That evening, she called Mirabel. Good evening, Mimi, she said respectfully. My friend, Mirabel replied confidently. Why is your voice shaking? And how are you preparing for this Christmas? We are going to be outside though. Tahila swallowed. My dear, that is where I need help. Mirabel sighed knowingly. Is it money or love that looks like money? Tahila replied. Both. There was silence. Then Mirabel said calmly, come tomorrow morning. I will will take you to my surest plug. Taylor ended the call and sat quietly. For the first time in days, she smiled peacefully. Christmas had finally answered. That night, sleep refused to cooperate. It was not insomnia, it was simply anticipation. She was busy with her phone and sleep refused to come. And then she saw Rishi plus the outburst of Xmas vlogging. She dropped the phone back on the bed like it had insulted her mother. That is it, she muttered. Tomorrow we move. Morning met her already awake. She did not set an alarm because pressure was her alarm. She bathed early, dressed so well, not because she wanted to impress anyone, but because you don't go to serious places looking unserious. She didn't know how much Mirabel would charge, but she knew one thing for sure. Reliable sources don't collect nonsense money, so she made call and sounded like she wanted to die. And that was how her mother sent her money ASAP. Before leaving, she stood in front of her mirror and gave herself a pep talk. Tehila, listen to me. Behave yourself. Don't laugh anyhow and don't ask stupid questions. This is business. You are going to meet Mirabel and you don't know where she's taking you to. But one thing is sure, Pierce's money must obey. She nodded at her reflection like they had an agreement. Mirabel lived in Olowo area, the type of neighborhood where GPS loses confidence halfway, and the directions Mirabel sent was not helpful. Come down at the junction. Which junction? The one after the small bridge. Which bridge? You will know it. Tahila did not know. She trekked. She asked people. She turned back twice. At some point, she almost went home, but Christmas flashed in her mind again and pushed her forward. Finally, she located her place and all of them went to her surest plug. As they got there, Tehila was expecting to see a mud house filled with smoke, just as usually portrayed on movies. But it was a small bungalow with a calm presence. Nothing scary and nothing dramatic. Mirabel knocked, and before her knuckles touched the door properly, it opened. The woman stood there with her eyes sharp like they could see through lies, excuses, and unpaid debts. You are Tehila, she said. Yes, ma, Tehila replied quickly. Come in. They entered and sat where they were told. The sitting room was tidy but strange. They sat opposite the woman and then the woman folded her legs calmly. So, why are you here? She asked. Tehila cleared her throat. Ma, Christmas is coming. The woman nodded slowly. Yes, Christmas comes every year. Tehila swallowed. Yes, ma, but I don't have any job and I don't own any business as well. The woman nodded again. Many people don't. Tehila felt sweat gather at her back. Ma, there is this man. That got the woman's attention. Tehila took a deep breath and then she continued. Since I don't have any job or business, I don't want stress and I don't want embarrassment. I sincerely do not want to beg this season as well. I just want things to flow. The woman studied her for a long moment, then smiled faintly. You are not here for love. Tehila blinked. At all, ma. You are here because pressure had finished you. Tehila nodded immediately. Yes, ma. The woman leaned back. I like honesty. She stood up and walked towards a shelf at the corner of the room. On it were different bottles. Colorful, big, small, plain, what have you. They sat quietly like they were minding their business but ready to destroy someone's peace if used the right way. She reached for one. She brought it closer. This one, she said, it is for madness. Dahlia became so afraid. She wants someone who will spend on her and not run mad. And so she asked, "Madness? Well, it does not make people run naked," the woman replied. "It just encourages affection and makes the victim fall madly in love with you, that whatever you ask, you get." Tahila nodded rapidly. "That is what I want, ma." The woman raised a finger. "2 drops." "Yes, ma," she replied. "Not 3." "Yes, ma." "Not 4." "Yes, ma." Because love is not a seasoning cube. Tahila swallowed hard. "I understand, ma." The woman handed her the bottle. "Put it in his food or drink. After he consumes it, attachment will start gently. He will want to please you, and no matter how much he spends on you, he will never imagine to calculate it. He will see it as nothing, and he will keep spending and spending. Even when you say it is okay, he will beg you and then warn you sternly never to deprive him of his responsibilities." Tahila's eyes shone. "Ma, all of this in just one bottle?" she asked carefully. The woman scoffed. "My daughter, people have married from this." Tahila almost shouted, "Thank you, Jesus," but the woman was not done. "There is a warning," she added. Tahila frowned slightly. "Ma?" The woman looked at her sharply and said, "Don't abuse it." Tahila laughed nervously. "Ma, don't worry. You see that word careful? Naim be this," she said, pointing at her chest proudly. She paid and also thanked her friend for giving her the surest updates. She imagined Christmas pictures. She imagined captions. She also imagined the shopping bags. And then she whispered, "Finally, I declare this Christmas season opened in the name of God the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit." Behind her, the woman watched the door quietly aside. Human beings and shortcuts. She got home feeling important. The bottle sat quietly in her bag like a secret partner. She stretched, checked her phone, and smiled. A message came from Piers. "Hi dear, hope you are good." Immediately she replied, "Very well, thank you." They chatted lightly. She asked if he had eaten, and Piers mentioned he was having a long day ahead and wouldn't have time to go for lunch. Tahila sat up straight. That was her opening. "Oh," she typed casually. "I can cook something small if you want." She waited. He replied almost immediately. "That would be nice, oh, but please don't stress yourself. I will be fine." Stress? "I won't, please." So I insist. She entered overdrive, dropped her phone, and jumped out of the bed like someone whose village people had pressed send. "That is it," she whispered dramatically. She washed her hands like someone preparing for inspection. She brought out ingredients with seriousness. If food was the carrier, then the carrier must not fail. She cooked with care, and as the aroma filled the kitchen, she paused and remembered the woman's voice. 2 drops. She reached for her bag and brought out the bottle. It looked harmless. 2 drops only, she muttered. She remembered how the woman had emphasized it, but she also remembered one important thing. The woman would not be there to see results. She unscrewed the bottle. 1 drop fell, then the second. She stared at the pot. What if it's not enough, she wondered. And what if his system is strong? She imagined Pierce smiling politely but remaining emotionally unavailable. She shook her head. "No, I cannot afford what if oh." She added a 3rd drop and the 4th drop. "Better safe than sorry," she reasoned confidently. "I am not here to play." She stirred gently and closed the pot satisfied. She packed the food neatly, dressed up and checked herself in the mirror. Not overdressed and not desperate, just calm, attractive, and ready to receive Christmas blessings. She picked up her phone and messaged him, "I am on my way." A few seconds later, his reply came, "I am sorry, dear. Something urgent just came up. I don't think I'll be around before you get to the office." Tahila froze. Eh? This was not in the plan. She read the message like reading would change the words. She typed back quickly, "Oh, okay, no problem." But there was a problem, a very big one at that. The food was already packed. The charm was already inside. She shook her head. "Calm down," she told herself. She stepped out with the food anyway. Maybe she would give it to someone else later, or keep it, or figure out something else, but she didn't know what she was doing. She walked down the street, her mind busy calculating alternative plans on how to get in and then force down this food down his throat. That was when she noticed one man, one of these street preachers that appear and disappear like network. This particular one was not called by God. Because of the situation of the country, he took it as a job. He preaches, and after everything, he asks people for offering. He was dozing off, apparently tired and hungry. Maybe bad business. As she walked past, the man suddenly opened his eyes. Then he stood up sharply. "Hey," he called. Tahila pretended not to hear. "Auntie," he shouted louder. "Wait." She stopped reluctantly. "Yes?" she asked carefully. The man smiled. Wide, emotional, and confusing. He stepped closer. "Please, I wanted to withdraw, but you know how disappointing our ATM machines can be, especially when you need them most. If I start here with you in the next 3 minutes, it will be another story entirely. And trust me, you will not be free from the guilt for the rest of your life. Please, I need food." Tahila clutched the flask tighter. "I am sorry. I am not selling food." "I no wan buy ma," he corrected. "Please, sir, I need to go." He followed her one step. "Madam, I have not eaten since yesterday. God wants to change your destiny. What is food that you can't let go?" The man used his oratory skill and she became frustrated. She sighed, looked around, then handed him the flask. "Please, take it," she said angrily. The man's face lit up like someone who had just won a contract. "Ah!" he exclaimed. "Thank you." Oh. Before she could respond, he sat down and opened the flask. Tahila turned and walked away relieved. What could possibly go wrong? She muttered. At home, she threw herself on the bed and scrolled through her phone. Christmas post still continued. She sighed. Well, she told herself, at least I tried. I did not fold my hands doing nothing. She slept. The man finished the food. Every grain and every drop. He lit the spoon thoughtfully. Then something changed. He stood up slowly. Love, he whispered. So this is love, he sang. He picked up the empty flask and stared at it like it held secrets of the universe. She fed me, he murmured. She chose me. His mind rearranged itself dangerously. I must find her. By morning, Tahila woke up refreshed. She stressed, smiled, and checked her phone, not knowing that there was fire on the mountain. That was when she heard a voice, loud, emotional, and romantic. My wife, come out and see your husband. She froze. Then the voice came again. My love, the one that fed me, come and collect your heart. Her blood ran cold. That was not Pierce's voice. She slowly peeped through the window and her soul left her body. Standing proudly at her gate was the man from yesterday, freshly baited, holding the empty flask like proof and smiling with dangerous affection. Hey! Tehila screamed, knowing that the charm had missed targets. She stood by the window staring at the sight outside her gate like someone watching a movie she did not pay for and did not ask to see. The man stood confidently, holding the empty flask as if it was a marriage certificate. He looked refreshed, clean and emotionally awake. My wife, he shouted again. Come out. If you don't come out, I will sleep here. Tehila staggered backwards. Jesus, she whispered. This is not funny. Her legs were already shaking without additional stress. Soon, the man started creating a scene. A woman from the compound asked, Why are you shouting? It's my wife, oh. She does not want to come out, the man replied confidently. Wife? The woman asked, confused. Yes, he replied, lifting the flask. This food sealed it. Tehila's phone buzzed this time. She checked. It was a message from Piers. Hey dear, sorry about yesterday. Things were hectic. How can I make up? She stared at the message and felt like blowing him on his coconut head for scattering her plan and now putting her in a big mess. Another shout came from the gate. My wife, I am patiently waiting for you. My chalugo, my pino, do fast so that we can go home. That was when panic fully entered her body. She ran to the door, locked it again even though it was already locked, then walked around the room like someone looking for an escape route that did not exist. This cannot be happening, oh, she muttered. This is not what I asked this woman to do. I want Piers, the one I know that has money to spend. Then the knock came, not gentle but confident. My wife, the man said sweetly. Come out, let's talk as adults. As adults, the healer repeated in disbelief. Which adults? She pressed her back against the wall, breathing hard. Outside, more people had gathered. Someone brought a chair and another brought popcorn energy. The people had the free show. An elderly man cleared his throat and said calmly, Young man, what exactly do you want? The man smiled respectfully. Sir, I want my wife. Wife? Another voice shouted. Yes, now, he replied. I want to marry her now. I am ready. I have bathed, I have eaten, and I am emotionally available. Tehila slid down to the floor. So this is how this grace starts, she whispered. The knock came again. Open this door. I don't like playing hide and seek with my future. She gathered herself, wiped her face and opened the door slightly, just enough to speak. Sir, she said loudly so everyone could hear. I don't know you, so please stop embarrassing me. The man frowned. Don't do that now. Don't say that. You know me very well. You fed me. This is your full flask. That does not mean marriage, she snapped. He tilted his head thoughtfully. Why not? The neighbors burst out laughing. Tehila's voice cracked. I was only helping you. And I am helping you now, he replied proudly, by offering you my hand. She shut the door again and screamed. Inside her room, she grabbed her phone with shaky hands and dialed Mirabel's number. It rang. Once, twice, 3 times. No answer. She tried again. Still, no answer. Outside, the man had now sat down comfortably in front of her gate. I will wait, he announced, because love is patient. Someone said to encourage him. Fear aproko neighbors, they can overdo. Oga, and she fine well, oh. He smiled proudly. You get her. She's very fine. God packaged her for me. Tahila buried her face in her pillow. This is not the Christmas enjoyment I ordered, she sobbed. Her phone buzzed again. It was from Piers. I am sorry. Please, can I call you now? She stared at the message for a long time. What exactly would she say? Sorry, I tried to use love potion on you, but a street preacher ate it and now wants to marry me. She dropped the phone. Outside, the man stood up again and adjusted his slippers. Neighbors, he announced. Since my wife is shy, I will come back later. He pointed at the door. This one is my house now. I will not allow competition. As he walked away slowly, still smiling, murmuring love songs to himself, Tahila collapsed on the bed. Outside, someone shouted, Madam, your husband has gone, but he said he will be back. Oh. She closed her eyes. Christmas was still coming, and all she had envisioned had taken the worst turn. The man did not return that day, but his absence did not bring peace. It brought fear with imagination, the kind that makes you hear footsteps when nobody is there and check the gates every 5 minutes. She sat on her bed hugging her pillow like it would protect her from what was going on. Her phone lay beside her face down, buzzing occasionally with messages she was too ashamed to open. This life, she muttered, is not balanced. By morning, hunger reminded her that disgrace did not cancel appetite. She tiptoed to the kitchen like a thief in her own house, careful not to make noise as if noise could summon the man back. Just as she sat down with her food, she heard a familiar voice, closer, clearer and confident. My wife, I have returned. Tahila's spoon fell from her hand. No, she whispered. Not again. Before she could move, there was a knock. Tahila, the man called out. Come out, I missed you. She stood up slowly. This time, she didn't scream and she didn't hide. She opened the door. The man stood there freshly baited again. He even had a nylon bag. I bought oranges for you, he said proudly, for vitamins. Tahila laughed, a dry, broken laugh. Sir, she said calmly, please, let us talk. He smiled widely. Yes, but anything you have to say must be marriage talk. No, she corrected, reality talk. The neighbors gathered quietly again. Because? Why not? She took a deep breath. I did not feed you because I loved you, she said slowly. I fed you because you were hungry and you begged for wheat. The man nodded. Hunger brought us together, he said confidently. Can't you see the hand of God in this? Now let me ask you, where exactly were you carrying that food to? Madam didn't answer, and then he let out a wicked laugh. Oh, you see? You are my baby, my wife, and the mother of my children. No, she said firmly. The man frowned for the first time. Don't ever say that again. You see, the last 500 naira in my pocket is what I used to buy these oranges for you. Anything I have, I must spend all. I mean all on you, my wife. You are confused, she cut in, and I know why. I made a mistake. I tried to use shortcuts in life. I was under pressure, Christmas pressure, online pressure, and all the pressure you can think of. I wanted enjoyment without process. The man stared at her. So you ate something that was not meant for you, she said. It doesn't matter, the man cut in. I will still marry you. Before Tahila could say anything else, he ran inside and took a seat. What should I help you with, my wife? He asked. And that was when Tehila knew water don't pass Gary. Thank God all her properties can fit into 2 big bars and her house rent was to expire by January. She allowed him, and since whatever she says the man would do, she asked him to go back, that she will come over to his place since his marriage they were talking about, and it is usually the woman who comes to the man's place and not the other way round. The man refused though, initially, but later on, she rubbed his head and that was like a bribe. He agreed, but on the condition that she walks him home, and she did. At night, she did not sleep. She was busy packing all her things, and before people woke up, she was already in the park. She got home and told her mother she was tired of being an independent lady. She never returned. And as for the man, he is still telling people to help him find his wife. Tahila blocked Piers everywhere because she still saw him as a spiritual husband. She only wanted to use him as a maga but failed woefully because I am very sure he had a praying mother. Christmas came and she celebrated with her family in the little way they can, and surprisingly, she enjoyed every bit of it. Hey, African Tales by Karma Tribe, how are you all doing? For me, I am doing just fine. I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I did. Before I leave today, permit me to say this. Christmas is not a competition. It is not a deadline to prove anything to anybody, and it is not a season to hurt yourself, borrow shamefully, or do what your hand or pockets cannot handle. If you are watching this and you feel pressured because others seem to be enjoying more than you, please pause and breathe. Your life is not late. Your story is not finished, and your worth is not measured by what you post in December. Some people were loud online but silent in real life. Some people were posting enjoyments they cannot maintain in January. And some people were fighting battles you cannot see behind those smiling pictures. Please, don't let comparison push you into desperation. Don't let pressure push you into shortcuts that will embarrass you, harm you, or break you emotionally. And most importantly, never think of harming yourself because of money, celebration, or lack of it. No season is worth your life. None at all. Remember, Christmas is Jesus' birthday. It's about love, hope, life, and gratitude, not suffering, depression, or proving a point. If all you can do for this Christmas is eat simple food, rest your body, thank God for life, my friend, that's enough. There are many more to celebrate, many more seasons ahead, and many more wins waiting for you. This one season does not define your destiny. Please be kind to yourself. Go at your own pace and celebrate within your capacity. You are not behind. You are not useless. You are just on your own journey, and that journey is still valid. Please give the story a thumbs up, share your thoughts with me in the comment section, share out to your loved ones, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly punch on the subscribe button so that you can join the Karma Tribe. Until I bring the next interesting story your way, it is a goodbye from here, and God bless you.